I was a 19-year-old kid. I didn't know my dick from a hole in the wall. Or you could put your dick in a hole in the wall. I had no idea that those places existed until much later. But that's a joke. Maybe. But yeah, so that's, but it was a great time. I loved the band, I'm honored to be part of that history, and it was my first real time touring and really being out there and getting and becoming very humbled by that experience and not taking what I have for granted. Like, I don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks. I really honestly don't care. But humility for me is a big thing. And if you're humble, you don't know if you are. But I will say that that experience humbled me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Brother.
I'm a teacher, and for students that want to get into music, would you suggest learning more of the behind-the-scenes, business, advertising, social media, all that stuff, or what would be your suggestions for something like that?
Well, every creative musician I've ever known's parents has stifled their creativity. So you have to find asshole parents first. That's the key ingredient, to say you can't do that. Because my mom was a Danish immigrant, grew up during World War II, and saw her family get killed by Nazis, right? When she was 4 years old, for their farm, right? And there was a lot of fear in my house. And a lot of like, don't be punk because Donahue has the after school special, and Quincy and fucking Chips, and they all had their punk special, and they got it all fucking wrong. My name wasn't Chemical Waste, or I didn't bite concrete, and so there was this stigma to it, right? So I think that you have to learn, you have to go on your own path. My path was definitely, like, my children won't have my experience, right? My path was created by my environment. And so the advice I would have to anybody is nothing, because whether you win or lose, it's all a learning experience, right? And as a teacher, I'm sure you know that, because you probably see it in front of you all day. My kid's a very good student, by the way. But it's one of those things. I can't really tell somebody what to learn. If they ask me a question about something, I'll do my best to answer it as honestly as I can, but it would have to be something specific. Because business is business no matter what you do, if you're a fucking cab driver or a guitar player. You know what I mean? You either love it or you hate it. You know what I mean? And you have to just enjoy it for what it is. You know what I mean? Because honestly, like, this is beyond, having this guitar, being up on this stage and saying I have my own fucking guitar is beyond me. Because I still don't think that I'm even worth that, right? I mean, I've faked it for the last 25 years, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I just did what I did,
I thought that you didn't even get a guitar like years ago.
Well, there was some moments, but I always, I never felt comfortable. I mean, believe it or not, I don't really like attention. Coming from the guy with the tattoo on his fucking forehead, right? Yeah. Sure, Lars. But I think that, the advice I would say, okay, I'll answer your question now. Follow your heart. You know what I mean? I just do what I feel comes natural to me. You know what I mean? And I'm still a kid. You know what I mean? My wife sometimes reminds me that I'm a parent. She goes, you realize you're a fucking parent, right? They're not your friends, they're your children. I'm like, oh yeah. Sorry guys, can't play Beyblades right now. You know what I mean? I'm just a kid, a lucky one. Because my future didn't really hold too much, so. Well, but we, the guys, Rancid, we were all kids from the same upbringing, from the same background. Matt and Tim were born and raised in the same town my father was born and raised, until he was made a ward of the court and shipped off to, he basically grew up in juvenile halls and CYAs and stuff like that, where I eventually went to when I was 11. And this is my life story. Sorry, I'm on so much coffee and nicotine pills right now. Follow your heart. Next question. If there's not one, it's cool. I can keep talking. I'm fucking jacked out of my mind.
What's your thought on the shape of the music industry right now?
You know, I don't really,
That's a really good question, by the way. If you didn't hear, he asked, what do you feel is the shape of the music industry right now?
I don't know. I mean, because Rancid is like, yeah, I'm in so many different bands on so many different levels. Like, I play small shit-ass clubs and then bigger places, you know what I mean? But I treat it all the same. You know what I mean? I don't look at it as like, one's better than the other. I actually like the smaller places, 250, 300 capacity places, because you really connect, Like this size room was perfect for me, But I never really think of the music business. I just think of what is the band doing? You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily know if I can say that I participate in the music business. I live in San Francisco, you know what I mean? I'm like far away from any kind of that, you know what I mean? So I guess I do with my own guitar. I don't know. I feel like that's. What would you say the music business is?
Well, the music business is when you look at the word, the music business, that's the dotting of the I's and the crossing the T's to make sure that all paychecks go and nobody else steals it from you.
Right.
The basic protection on how to make a living at it without getting yourself anally violated publicly.
There's nothing wrong with that, Chris. If you choose that.
Right.
Well, okay, so listen, this is my firm belief. I pay for every piece of music that I have. Because number one, I'm a kid of the 70s and I loved going into the record stores and picking up something tangible and taking it home, studying the liner notes, studying the lyric sheet, and really just like absorbing it all. And that's where I fell in love with music. I don't really download music just because, I actually downloaded Ace's solo record, the one with Kiss, because I didn't have it on CD. And I was I was out on the road and I really wanted to hear Rip It Out. I won't go to a website, I won't go to YouTube to watch music. I won't go to YouTube to watch wrestling. I'll pay for it because I believe that it's mine after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's now mine. And I think that, there's so many bands, like we're from the last generation, like Rancid made records before Pro Tools. You know what I mean? Like we made it on reel-to-reel tape. And a lot of people don't know that and know that world. There's a lot of new bands but I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying it's changed so much, right? So for me, I'm not like one of those guys that's stuck in the past, although I might look it, but I believe everything's got to evolve and become, that's how everything becomes better and it stays relevant, like punk music. Everybody used to get, you can't be punk and be on MTV, and you can't be punk and do this. It's like, you know what? Fuck you. Don't tell me. There's no rule book in punk. You can say whatever you want to say, do whatever you want to do, vote for whoever you want to fucking vote for, believe who you want to believe. This is your choice. That's what punk rock is. Yeah. That's what it is. It's not about somebody telling you what to do. It's about doing this to the person that's telling you what to do and doing your own thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know how that has anything to do with the music business, but with Rancid, that's what we've always done. We've had like 28 managers because they try to tell us what to do and we're like, fuck you. Who knows us better than us? We know when it's time to go out on the road. We know when it's time to take a break. We know when it's time to make a record. And that's why we've been a band for nearly 25 years with only one member change. You know what I mean? You see some of these bands and you don't even recognize them anymore. It's like the drummer going out. You know what I mean? He's not even the original drummer. You know what I mean? It's like, well, who is this? So I think for us, when it comes to maybe the music business, it's about staying true to ourselves and doing what we want to do. And luckily we're at a place on Epitaph Records, Hellcat Records, where Brett Gurewitz, who's obviously better known for being in Bad Religion, Mr. Brett, he's our producer. You know what I mean? Because he knows us. He knows how to talk to us. You know what I mean? We've pretty much used him on every record, really. And but my point is that we sort of know when it's time for us to do what. And I think that getting pressure from, being in 94, 95, when Rancid was really kind of going up, we experienced a lot of different pressures and different opinions from different people. You had all sides coming in because there was obviously money involved, and we just kind of went more introverted and really took care of just the core of us, you know what I mean? And didn't really subscribe to, this is how you sell a record, this is how you do this is how you do that. But does that answer your question, I hope?
A little bit.
Okay, well, how can I get more specific? I want to help you.
Like with people pirating your music, where do the bands find ways to make money? What's the best way to support yourselves so you can, I work full time and I work nights, and then my band has slowly become like a full-time job to me.
Right.
So it's all the money I make working, and I'm blessed enough that I can work nights and then I can work a good enough job to support everything.
Right.
But we go out and we produce this stuff, then all of a sudden before we know it, everyone's got it for free, and the most we can do is ask for $5 donation.
No, I get that one. I get that one.
How are we able to support ourselves when we go out and we play 4 or 5 days a week, and we're starting to get ready to go to those next levels, but we're like, how do I justify leaving my job to go on tour full time?
Well, that's the thing. When I was 21, when I